Hey everybody, coming up on Sports Central, we have a great show, some great videos, and some superstars in the world of sports, both local, national, and international. Stick around for this edition of Sports Central. Hey everybody, and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. To my right, the Honorable Mr. Neil Duncan. Glad to see you again, buddy.
Absolutely. This first segment of Sports Central brought to us by Visit Florida, a great partner of tourism and sports, and really great partners all over the state of Florida.
Well, Visit Florida is on a mission. 100 million visitors this year, and well on their way. Of course, new money coming into Florida by the truckloads, plane loads. That's what we like. Makes Florida a better place to live.
Absolutely.
And of course, Polk County as well.
Yep.
So there you have it. Well, man, it's been a busy week, and obviously with the World Shoot over now, you're breathing a little bit easier, but 77 countries, 1,400 competitors. I mean, that was massive, and I heard that the opening ceremonies, I wasn't able to be at the opening ceremonies, were beyond anybody's expectation, particularly the French.
Well, because they were awarded the 2017 event, and when they leave saying that they're nervous about what they have to do, having seen what we were able to accomplish here, that's a compliment, and a great team at Tourism Sports Marketing, but really the entire Board of County Commissioners in Lakeland, City of Lakeland, Parks and Rec, and the Polk County Sheriff's Office, and you can go on and on and on about everybody that
Lakeland
helped
Police
make
Department did a yeoman's job.
Absolutely, but a great event.
Very professional.
And we got another great event coming up.
Skills USA.
Yeah.
That's coming a little bit, and along with spring training, and wow.
It never stops.
No.
It's a good thing, though. Good thing for Polk County. You talk about Visit Florida bringing in those truckloads of cash. We're doing our part.
Yep. Well, one of the events that Neil's talking about is the FFA Fire Tower Run Amok and Barbecue Competition. With us, David Walden. And Dave, you know, this is the second annual. It's a great event, at least it was last year, and I understand you're planning bigger and better things this year.
Yes, Mark, absolutely. We have, anybody who went to the event last year knows that we really know how to put together an obstacle course to make it not only challenging for the people who come out, but know that they can go out and actually get a workout out of it too. But this year we have stepped up our game, and we are actually including a barbecue competition with the Run Amok.
Like it.
Oh, absolutely.
So when they get done, they get something to eat. Right?
Yes, sir.
Well, the event itself, let's go back to the actual run, because it's a 3-mile, 18-plus obstacle course. Tell us a little bit about that. What did people experience last year, and how is it changing a little bit this year?
Well, I know that last year people really reacted positively to a lot of the different things that the mud pits, all of the different obstacles, the tire runs. But this year we've stepped up our game. We've tried to build bigger, better obstacles. I know one obstacle that I was shown yesterday was actually a ladder climb up to a platform and then a slide down into a mud pit, something that has taken us about 2 months to build. But we
That's fun. It makes running and exercising and stuff fun. I mean, that's the whole reason for it.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a real, I mean, you guys are running through, I mean, you're just not running down a road, you know, the asphalt pavement, you know, concrete or whatever it may be. You're running through the woods, and you've got sugar sand and all sorts of other stuff. I mean, that's a challenge in and of itself.
Yes, Mark. I mean, this is going to take place on about 3-4 acres of Polk County's finest woods out in the swamp. Our mud's authentic.
It's real stuff, real mud run. Well, you know, the Fire Tower Run Amok is being held at the FFA, which is an acronym for the Future Farmers of America. We know that well, don't we, Mr. Duncan?
Absolutely.
Good Indiana boy, good Wisconsin boy here. But it's a great organization and a great venue. Overall, give us a little bit of and our viewers an idea of what the FFA Leadership Center is all about, and what does it have to offer out there?
Well, the Florida FFA Leadership Training Center, which is at 5000 Fire Tower Road in Haines City, Florida, was built way back in, they broke ground in the 1980s. Believe it or not, my mom was actually on the state officer team that signed off on the original referendum to build it.
Yeah.
But it is now a premier training center with meeting rooms. We have a lodge, villas for people to come stay at. And it's a meeting center for FFA members as well as anybody else who wants to be able to come out there and use the property.
I mean, you can spend the night out there and have conferences, conventions.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's right on Lake Pierce.
Yes, sir.
So you just take a boat right across to one of our favorite eating establishments. Correct, Mr. Duncan? Mm-hmm. Cherry Pocket.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't go wrong with Cherry Pocket.
Absolutely.
No, done that before, taken the boat from FFA over to Cherry Pocket and enjoyed their fine dining and assorted beverages, if you will. Sarsaparilla for me, of course.
Getting back to the race.
Okay, let's talk about
well,
that.
there's a 5K walk run from 8 to 9 a.m., right?
Right.
So if you don't want to do the full obstacle course, there's different components that you can participate in this event.
Yes, sir, that is correct. And as well, we have different levels of participation for anybody who does want to come out there and have some kind of fun.
Right.
We have the 5K walk run, which starts at 8, goes till 9. Then we also, at 11, we have 10 different waves of the actual obstacle course run. And on top of that, we also are going to have, in order for the kids to have their own obstacle fun, we're going to have a bunch of different inflatables out there for them to go out there and play around on those as well.
That's the one we're looking for. That's
Neil
the one we
likes
can
inflatables, I can tell you that.
We could really attack that course
just
there.
take your shoes off and go out there and bounce around. I've seen you do it many times.
What was in your coffee today? Well, the barbecue event. You're adding that to the event, and this is going to be a sanctioned event?
Absolutely. It is going to be sanctioned by the Florida Barbecue Association, and it is actually going to be a $15,000 payout over the course of all the divisions.
Really?
Absolutely. It is the real deal, and this is an event that draws upwards of, I've heard of 8,000 to 10,000 people at some of these events. So this is a huge step for us.
Yeah, I mean it's an opportunity, particularly for anybody in Polk County, but you're going to be getting folks from Osceola, Kissimmee, and Orlando and that type of thing. We know that, but I want to jump back real quick, no pun intended, on the jump houses, but jump back real quick to the walk run, because right now in the world of running. Okay, the running, if you want to call them the running sports, quiet sports, whatever it may be, that walking component is a great way for people to kind of move into the running sports. Then eventually you do a 5K and so on and so forth. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason for that is to generate revenue for a nonprofit. Tell us about the proceeds and what happens to those.
Well, the proceeds are going to be split between the Florida FFA Foundation and the Farmers Feeding Florida organization. Now, I know you guys are familiar with the FFA, mm-hmm. but you may not be as familiar with Farmers Feeding Florida. Farmers Feeding Florida is an initiative of 14 food banks that work not just with canned foods, but also work directly with farmers to deal with fresh foods as well, mm-hmm. in order to provide a better, well-balanced, fresher diet to those in need.
Okay, I think Visti and some of our other local organizations do distribute those types of products, and I think it's a terrific program because you get fresh vegetables, and and of course it's Florida grown, so it doesn't get any better than that. We certainly all know that, but I just think that those numbers, when you start bringing in the walkers, and there's an opportunity. But the point is, there's an opportunity for everybody. You just want to walk 5K, hey, have it. That's the way my wife started. I mean, she's running a 15K in Arizona here coming up in a month.
Oh,
so
wow.
I mean, she started that whole walking thing almost for a year. So if you just want to come out and see the area, it's a great opportunity to see Florida's best. Natural environment and in a fun atmosphere where you have barbecue. I mean, I think that probably sums it up as well as anything. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
Absolutely, and I'm looking at some of the other events that are here. The paintball, you can do paintball while you're out there
really?
as well.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, we have a full paintball course out there that anybody who's willing to do it, they can absolutely go participate in that as well.
Canoe and kayaking?
Yes, sir. we have everything available that is normally available as an amenity of the Florida FFA Training Center.
Okay, so everything's going to be open and
yes, sir, that's
ready
correct.
to go. Fantastic.
You know, that's, and then Lake Pierce, you know, they have the, I don't want to say it's a burial ground, but it's a, I guess it sort of is, one of the islands out there on Lake Pierce. You can canoe kayak out to that. You can canoe kayak over to Cherry Pocket. But if you want to see Florida's real natural environment, boy, Lake Pierce is tough to beat, real tough to beat. I know Tom Palmer from the Ledger enjoys that. He, you know, he's.
Well, again, in our date is Saturday, November 15th?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Then how do people get more information? What do they do?
Well, if you want more information, we have both of our websites available at, I believe it's Florida FFA Run Amok or
FFA Run Amok.
FFA Run Amok and swampfestbarbecue.com. And also, and if I can plug something real quick,
absolutely,
we are actually having a special for today only. Today on Halloween, if you sign up for the Run Amok, you get a 2-for-1 registration.
Oh, wow.
So today is BOGO only.
Hey, we need to get our viewers out there to start, you know, getting on your pewter and pumping that information out. 2-for-1 on Halloween. That's a good deal.
It's a very good deal.
And that's, in fact, well, how much is it, by the way?
I believe we're up to a $70 fee at this point because it's so late in registration, but that's why we're trying to get this BOGO out there, because it's a way to kind of drive registration a little bit this late in the game, but it also helps people out a lot.
Well, no kidding. Future Farmers of America, just a fantastic worldwide organization, but the Florida Farmers Feeding, give that to me.
Farmers Feeding Florida.
Farmers Feeding.
Farmers Feeding Florida.
Oh, I'm glad.
It's a tongue twister. It is a tongue twister.
There you go. And if you want more information, everybody, here's the website again. It's FFARunamok.com. So that's where you can go to get the BOGO, the 2-for-1 on registration, or swampfestbbq.com. So great information. David, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mark, Neil, for having me in.
I mean, the event's reputation preceded you coming in. Great success last year, bigger success this year, and thanks for all you do for
We look forward to having
County.
everybody coming out.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, another great event, and it's a running event, and we've had more than our fair share of great events coming into Polk County, and that is the Color and Glow. Well, what do you think that is? Well, it has a lot to do with brighten up the night skies with Xylem sticks, or glow sticks, for those of you that don't know what a Xylem stick is. And it took place out at Sun and Fun. We have some great footage, some great excitement. Check this out. Mark and Neil, we'll be back with more Sports Central right after this.
Event that allows you to put on your color, run around, have a good time. It's family friendly. It's just an out and out good time. This venue is awesome. The whole race, the layout of the race, the people to work with, this has really been a great venue for us.
It's just something different. Most runs are during the day. At night, you get sprayed on with color glow, and I don't know, it just makes it a little more fun, more family friendly and all that kind of stuff too. It adds a little different taste to it. So, I mean, the best thing about Color Run is that everybody's just out here to have fun. It's nothing serious. I mean, there's people who've never ran before. It's just a fun time to do with friends and get out. It's for a good cause too, so just come out. You get to run 3.2 miles and give it to charity, so.
difficult, but it was interesting having the empty space.
Yeah, I think it was more of a challenge running on the gravel and grass and transitioning back to tar.
And you just couldn't see what you were running on, so I was just afraid it was going to fall.
The color stations are very good. You have to kind of run through and cover your face because they douse you, as you can see.
I closed my eyes and didn't breathe the entire time.
Yeah, head just down.
I'll bring my kids next time, too. It's awesome that a foundation like Make-A-Wish can get donations from people going and having fun. You don't even realize that you're donating to a charity, just you're having fun, and that's interesting. I like that.
Our charity is the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So part of our proceeds go to that, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation has a bunch of volunteers that come out and help put this event on. Volunteers are the most important thing. Number one, it's the volunteers from this community that get to come and be a part of it. We had 2,500 people come through here to race today, and without our volunteers, it would have been hard. They were great. We had a great group of people from this community, and I hope when we come back here again that they'll come back out and help.
We play at Florida Southern Women's Lacrosse, and one of our past teammates is an intern at Make-A-Wish Foundation, and she came to our team practice and just asked for volunteers, and we were all over it. I love giving back to the community. I mean, I've had, especially with Make-A-Wish, I've had people who have been affected by all sorts of things that Make-A-Wish has helped out, and it's giving back, and it's a special feeling that I really can't even describe. It's good to give back because the people of Lakeland come out and support us. It's nice to turn around and do it the same for them.
We usually see about 2,500 to 2,700 runners, and then we usually see about a total of 5,000 people at a venue. It's just a lot of fun. People dress up, they get crazy. It's an opportunity to just have good, clean fun. It's different, it's unique. You're not just running, down a path with you. It's dark. There's the element of surprise and the element of fun. And everybody likes to get sprayed with paint. Everybody likes to stand in front of a black light and see what they look like.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. This segment being brought to you by Abuelos, one of my favorite Mexican restaurants, and well, it is my favorite Mexican restaurant.
Good partners of tourism and sports.
Oh, they do an awful lot. They understand it, and it's great business. So, with all of that said, speaking of good business and a good business model, all you have to do is take a look in Lakeland at Southeastern. Wow, what a school! And both academically and both on the sports side. We have a couple of celebrities with us, R.J. Barsh and Dana Thomas, who's one of the stars on the court, at least in the playing surface. 27-7 last year, went from 15-17 to 27-7. They are in the discussion, period. That is impressive. That is impressive. Conference record 14-4. And gentlemen, glad to have you with us. And wow, that is an impressive record. 32-2 this year. I heard the prediction a little earlier.
That's purpose.
Before I got you, Coach. I asked if it was going to be 32 and 2. Coach didn't say anything about them. We're not going to give any
turn my hearing aids
billboard.
up here.
I don't want to have to say who those 2 losses would be against.
So where did you fall short those 2 games, Coach?
Exactly. Well,
but you talk about the turnaround, and obviously we're talking about before we came on air for this segment, being in the discussion, because the year before wasn't what you guys were looking for, and then last year you really turned it around. And I asked the question, would you rather be under the radar, or would you rather be in, as you said, in the discussion, getting everyone's best shot? And obviously your answer was in the discussion.
I mean, as a coach, when you're building a program, you want to be in the discussion because a recruit wants to be on a team that's in the discussion. And that first year was a building year. It was a culture year. It was a recruiting year. And we understood that as a program, as a coaching staff, what our goals were long-term success. We don't want to be a one-hit wonder, beat a ranked team, and then, not have a great season. So we wanted to build on that. And I think being in discussion helps you build every single day.
Yeah. Well, it sort of sets the bar a little bit higher, too. Hey, our expectations, we can't mess up. Every game, we got 100% focus on that game. We don't need to be worrying about game 4, game 5, game 6, whatever it may be down the road. But, this year you're coming back. You have 3 starters from last year. You lost 2. But, and Dana, I'm going to ask you this because, these are your teammates.
Yes, sir.
The young guys coming up, can they fill the shoes?
I'm confident in everybody we have on the team. We have a lot of young guys who are stepping up. We have some red shirts who are coming in who are going to give us a lot of good minutes. And then we also have returners who are just busting their butt all summer. And so everybody's been preparing because, like you said, we have a bullseye on our back. And so we just got to get ready for every game to be a battle and get everybody's best.
As obviously a leader on the team and all of those types of things, right now, you're going into you're getting there, and season's coming up. You all fired up? You a little bit nervous? How do you feel?
It's a little bit of both. I'm glad we got our first game out of the way last week. I played terrible, but
we let you come in anyway.
Played terrible, but I'm glad we got that out of the way. Now we can focus on just getting better every day. We had a great week of practice. We have practice tomorrow morning. Every day we're just focusing on getting better, and Coach pushes us to our limits every single day.
I like to hear that.
Yeah.
I like to hear that.
Well, Coach, speaking of limits, it seems like Southeastern is investing heavily into the school, but also into the athletic program, and not only basketball, but new football team and success there. Obviously, the other programs help in building a program or getting the program where you want it to be. Talk a little bit about that and how your time at Southeastern you've seen it grow.
I mean, when your president's Ken Engel and your student development president's Chris Owen and your AD is Drew Watson, those are 3 guys who know how to win. But they want to win the right way. And so instead of building off winning programs, they went and they built coaches. And we've been coaches retreats, and they're showing us how to build our programs so when the platform arises, the character will show. And I think that's showing throughout campus with our student athletes that we're more than just a winning institution on the field and on the court. We want to be champions in the classroom, character. So when we have opportunities to lead, it's not so much that we can win games, is that our young men and young women, when they step out of Lakeland, when they graduate, they're going to have rings from championships, but they're going to be able to impact their community because of what Southeastern has invested into their student athletes. And as a coach, when I sit in a parent's home and I recruit their son, I can tell them we're going to win, but guess what? When practice is over, they're still being built as a young man, so when they get in the community, they can do great things.
Man, great philosophy is one of the things I admire about Southeastern. It's not just physical development.
Yeah.
Skill development is one thing, but physical development, is another. But it's the character development that makes the man. And you're a winner on the court, off the court, and I have maintained for years and years and years that ultimately the winners long term are the ones that have a balanced approach, classroom and on the court.
Definitely.
You just take a look at example after example, basketball, football, whatever sport you want to pick, and a lot of it's up here.
Yeah, definitely.
there's no question about it. So, character development, big with me, and I know it's certainly big with the school. So hats off to Southeastern, because they put their money where their mouth is.
They do.
Yeah, good stuff.
Looking at the season, I know you don't want to talk about it. I do this I told you before we came on, we're good friends with Terrence McGriff. I do this to him all the time. But who are those teams that could give you some trouble?
The Sun Conference has 4 teams ranked in the top 25. No other conference in America has 4 teams ranked in the top 25 right now. Wow. Outside of those 4 teams, you still have great teams with a lot of athleticism. And in our conference this year, a lot of teams bring back 3 or 4 starters. And so it's going to be good top to bottom. But when you, on paper, when you say who are going to be those teams, I mean, you playing against Rolly Massimino and Northwood, I mean, they're going to have 5 or 6 guys who have Division I ability. When you're playing against Embry-Riddle, who's going to be a Division II NCAA team next year, they're prepping themselves for that type of competition. So those players are on another level. And then you look at the Warners and the Webbers, who have so many athletes. I mean, they just put guys in the game who can just go. You have, in this conference, you better be ready to play every single night, because the nights that you don't, it's going to show up, and you're going to be on that bus back thinking, man,
Coach, give us a, folks want to take their kids out. I mean, it's a great family environment, affordable, all of that type of stuff. If they want to get information about your schedule, Neil and I are looking at it right now, your roster and those types of things. Where do they go to get that information?
The easiest way I tell fans is you go to your Google search bar, you put Southeastern Basketball or SEU Fire, and you're going to get all the information you need. I'm not going to give you the direct link to the basketball, because there's so many other sports that are having success right now. And what we love on our campus is supporting other sports. We got a big football game tomorrow night versus Weber for the Sun Conference Championship in our first year. That's where we want to direct the fans right now. But if you just Google SEU Fire, I mean, everything will come up for our sports. And our SID, Donnie Smith, does a great job on the social media aspect of making sure people get that information.
All right. Dana, I have a couple questions. Are you originally from Polk County?
No, I'm not.
Where'd you come from?
I'm originally from Chicago. I came here from Maryville University in St. Louis.
In St. Louis. There's a Maryville College in Maryville, Tennessee.
Oh yeah, a lot of people always get that confused.
Yeah. So you went from Chicago to Maryville College, and now at Southeastern.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you ever been up to Wisconsin Dells?
Yes, sir. When I lived in Chicago, we used to go up there all the time.
Okay.
Little family trips.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that area.
Not a Packers fan, though.
Oh, okay.
Well,
next
with
guest,
me, you're
please.
fine. You just did it. This was one time you're coming on, apparently.
In defense of your Bears, however, they've got way more talent than their record shows right now. I can't pinpoint it.
We just got to put it together.
Yeah, something like that. So once you graduate from Southeastern, what are your plans?
I actually graduated last year. I finished my undergrad in 3 years, and so I'm actually doing my master's right now. And so I actually have a job offer for Northwestern Mutual.
Great company.
Yes, sir. And so I'm planning on doing that after I graduate with my master's next fall.
That's one of America's most admired companies, Northwestern Mutual. Great organization based out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah. Imagine that. You might have to become a Packer fan.
Well, you talk about, and I think what Mark was maybe leading to is the hotbed of talent here in Polk County.
Yeah.
With the boys and girls state finals here, and that recently announced that that's coming back to stay at the Lakeland Center. It makes recruiting a little bit easier, but looking at the roster, you guys really pull people in from all over the country.
I think one thing you'll notice about our roster is Southeastern University is, to me, the world's best kept secret. And my job when I got here the first year was to make sure that secret was no longer a secret.
Right.
And so from social media, from calling Division I coaches, from traveling all summer going to camps, I made sure that people knew our brand. We're a thriving Christian university that wants to win, and we want to win now. And so when you get young men who have Jesus Christ already at the compass of their life, that's how they make decisions. And they're at a Division I school or Division II school, and they're looking for somewhere else to go, or a high school player who's really good, but they know they want to go into ministry. There's so many of those individuals out there that can shoot the ball. and they're 6'10", and they can play. Yeah. I wanted to attract them. You know, I didn't want to sit in a room and try to convince a young man that this is the right way to live, come to Southeastern, will help you. I wanted to go find 15 leaders that are already living that way, that can listen to a coach who's young, going to make a lot of mistakes, but doing it for the right reasons. And I think that's how you go from 15 and 17 to 27 and 7. Is the guys that we recruited understood the sacrifices, but they also see the reward of doing things the right way.
Sort of like Rick Warren, purpose-focused.
Yeah, purpose-driven life. Have to be that way.
Yes, you got it. Well, gentlemen, we really appreciate it, and we're huge fans of Southeastern. The fundamental purpose of the school, I am 100% agreement with, and of course, your sports program is phenomenal and continued growth. We wish you the best of luck. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you out on the court this year.
Thank you.
And Dana's going to have a great game when we come.
Even if he is a Bears fan.
That's right.
I agree. He needs to have a great game when you show up.
All right. Well, everybody, you know, we just love barbecue, and arguably Polk County, the capital of a lot of things, and barbecue is one of them. The Southern Smokers barbecue competition. We've got some great footage. I wish you had smell-o-vision because, wow, it is some good stuff. Check this out. Segment number 3, and Donovan Tinsley coming up is our next special guest. Stay with us, everybody.
It's been a great day here today in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Plaza where we're having this wonderful barbecue cookout right here in Dundee.
We compete strictly mainly here in Polk County and do all the local contests. And we basically just got started. Tampa Electric Company's who we work for, and they've sponsored us several events. Basically, it's just competing over and over and getting a good product out there. And the luck of the judge is how we win.
Cooked from anywhere from Las Vegas all the way to New Hampshire last year, Rochester, New York, Florida, Texas. Pretty much what we do is we compete around the whole United States. We won 2 world championships, 79 state championships. I think about 18 or 19 different individual states. We won a lot of different ones in same states over and over, but it's all about being not being a chef, it's more of a pit master. If you got a smoker, a grill, and your favorite sauce, you're a champion. All you gotta do is bring it out, give it a shot. It's slow, you cook slow. You don't speed up and hurry up, cook nothing. Brisket takes about 14 hours, pork takes about 18 hours. Ribs, A 6-hour rib is the most tenderest rib you're eating alive. Juicy, juicy. Chicken's a little fast. Of course, birds fly fast, so you got to kind of slow them down a little bit once in a while. But it's just, we use pecan wood, hickory wood, apple wood. The rubs we use is called Skin and Bones. We have a website called FloridaSkinandBones.com. Our sauce is all homemade, our rubs are all homemade. It's a part of the South, so when we leave here, the United States get to taste the part of the South. Florida, cracker.
It's so good. I know we'll be doing this next year. So all those people that didn't make it, all of you that didn't make it out here today, you will have a second chance in 2013. But I would just like to say this is great. We thank everyone for your participation. We thank the sponsors. We thank the sport marketing organization here. And we thank all our local affiliates and all the people that participate. Hey, hooray, done deal.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you didn't have smell-o-vision, shame on you. But, hey, this segment being brought to us by Hall Communications, our good friends, and don't forget, Sports Central, the radio version. 5 o'clock on Thursdays, one of the most popular shows in Central Florida. Check it out, 1430 WLKF, and sometimes Neil, sometimes Mark, sometimes both, so you can check us out on WLKF 1430 for Sports Central. Yep. Great stuff, great guests.
Yep.
Just like the next guest that we have.
Absolutely.
Hey, do pigs really fly south?
Yes.
We're going to find out here in just a second.
do.
A lot of you know or have heard the name, and that is Donovan Tinsley. He's been around for a long time. You wouldn't know it by looking at him because he looks like he could be Neil's son, but nonetheless,
where we are.
Donovan is involved in a great event out at Sun Fun when pigs fly south. Yeah, you can fly in on your airplane, or you can drive in your car, or ride over on your moped. Is that what you're taking this year?
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
Hey, Donovan, great to see you. And
good to see you guys.
Man, family's been busy. Of course, we've been seeing a fair amount of your dad, Bill Tinsley, and Tiger's deal is done, and all of that. If you're wondering if there's a connection, there is a connection. So we're excited about spring training coming up again, and I think that there's a little chip on the shoulders of the Tigers this year.
There should be.
There should be. We aren't going to get too deep into that.
Yeah.
What we are going to get deep into is when pigs fly south. Tell us a little bit about it, and when is it happening?
All right. Well, it's next weekend, November 7th and 8th, Friday and Saturday. We are one of, if not the largest, we kind of researched this out, and I think in the country we're the second largest fly-in barbecue. And what does that mean? Well, we're a barbecue competition, much like the one you had in the earlier segment and some of the others that are in the state. We have one we work with right here in Lakeland that is the largest in the southeast, and that is Pig Fest. But When Pigs Fly South is a fly-in barbecue competition sanctioned by the Kansas City Barbecue Society. So there's the FBA that handles things locally. We're the Kansas City Barbecue Society. A lot of fun. We've got obviously the fly-in element. The really cool thing is we moved it up a week this year so that we could take advantage of the fly-in element, but also to honor our veterans. We have a hangar door saloon fundraiser that takes part, and that's really what When Pigs Fly South is all about. It's a fundraiser for the ACE Center of Excellence, Aerospace Center of Excellence at Sun and Fun on the Sun and Fun campus.
Yeah, well, I just happen to have a son that attends the Aerospace Academy,
there you go.
Hunter, and wants to be an Air Force pilot. So, you know, that's a familiar place for me, but, you know, Sun and Fun is a long reputation, but they're expanding their portfolio of special events, although this one has been around, and the numbers are great. It's an exciting event, and wow, you know, you've got some real talent coming out for this one. I mean, from across the nation, because it is sanctioned by KC.
We do. It's anybody who's been on Destination America and has seen Pitmasters and is familiar with that show. The self-proclaimed winningest man in barbecue is going to come cook with us, Myron Mixon, which is really cool. We've got 3 other teams that were on that show. We've got one of our local cooks, Rub Bagby, who Swamp Boys Barbecue out of Lake Wales.
Oh yeah.
We've got Warren County, the Warren County Pork Choppers out of Kentucky that are going to be in. And then our defending grand champion, Give It to God Barbecue, who is out of Louisiana. Which interesting little story about Jeff, and I'm not going to try to say his last name, but calls me the day of the event last year. I get a call, and I said, I don't recognize that number. It's not one of my teams, but I'll take it. And he says, do you have any space? I said, sure. I said, but this is I got a Kentucky. The event's tomorrow. And he goes, well, interesting question. That you do have space because I'm about a mile out on I-4. And I'm like, well, how did you come knowing? Well, he missed the Plant City event by a week. Missed calendaring, just searched us out, came in, showed up, won the event.
Wow.
Which was pretty interesting. So, and then he in turn ended up being on Pitmasters as well, which was kind of neat. So.
Well, what kind of categories do you have? A lot of people just have never been to a barbecue event, and I love them. I mean, they're fantastic. You can eat any part of the critter that you want, which I like, and you just kind of, you like ribs, go for it.
Yep.
If you like, chopped pork, go for it. You like chicken, go for it. But there are certain categories that they are judged on or in. So tell us about that.
Well, the really neat thing, if kind of soup to nuts, if somebody comes out, I'll touch on the fact that we do have a car show, we have a bike show, we have the EA Warbirds of America chapter out of Punta Gorda they're going to be in. So we've got antique warbirds flying around, P-51s, all those old birds that or really have that neat element to it, but
the kind you don't cook.
The kind we don't cook.
That's right.
But let's face it, the barbecue is the show stopper, and it is the star of the show. You can try anything you want. We've got world-class barbecue cooks that are out there that have a lot of different fare, but everything from I like to say it's almost like it's fair food on roids. I mean, it's not fried element and all that type of thing, but it's really some great delicacies that you can have and try the different ways that these guys
Well, it is
cook
a competition.
and prepare.
They're putting their best foot forward. So this isn't exactly like, you're going to some stand somewhere. This is like, boom.
Well, Mark, it's a labor of love for these guys. We're not talking about hardcore vendors that would be at a fair type thing. These are guys that are coming out. They make enough most of the time to kind of sell, to pay for the next event. But they want you to. They just enjoy you coming and telling them how good their barbecue was and trying it out. So
we're talking 5 to 10 p.m. on the 7th, and then on the 8th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's only $5, which is the cost of parking. Correct?
That's just the parking, free event.
Free event. And then whatever you purchase,
and then whatever you choose to purchase, which we're much like a lot of events. We call ours barbecue bucks, but you come in $1 for $1,
and you get those right on site.
Right on site.
Okay.
Yep. You can take care of that on site.
That's, and I think that's really a good idea. The event itself, is there a charity involved? Is there a organization that benefits? Sun and Fun, of course, being a nonprofit.
Absolutely. We do have a partner involved, Lakeland South Rotary, who's involved with us as well. And they have some of their children's charities are involved. So it's not just ACE and the Aerospace Center of Excellence and Sun and Fun and our educational programs, but we also have a kind of a spring back to the local community with Lakeland South Rotary as well.
It's amazing. Anywhere I go in the country, and I mentioned the Aerospace Academy, or the Center for Excellence and all of that type of stuff, I go, what? I had no idea, and aviation is such a powerful segment in this country, and it's really now growing more and more right here in Central Florida, right in Polk County. We've got to be really thankful. Really thankful, and this event is an opportunity to showcase that. The museum, which is more of a learning center now, if I get that, I needed to get that correct. But nonetheless, it's a great opportunity to see all of that, and hey, check out what they have to offer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Free tours of the campus, obviously, that's out there. We'll have live music all day, both days, Friday evening and then also on Saturday as well, which will be kind of nice too.
How many attendees do you anticipate for the event? Because it's grown over the years.
Oh yeah, the first year we kind of didn't really market it, kind of rolled our ball out there, so to speak, and said, hey, we're going to have a party. And our buddy Gene Conrad wasn't exactly pleased with us over the airport. We had over 125 aircraft movements that day. So this year, last year we were hurt a little bit by weather, but still had an incredible growth. We were very pleased by that. And I'll tell you, I've been telling all my folks this week, leading up to next week's event, that I'm a little nervous because of the crowd we drew with a rain. It rained Friday and Saturday, and we still had a heck of a crowd.
Well, I knew people last year that were planning on going. They just said, man.
We expect somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 people this year. Very, so we're really excited about it.
It makes it fun.
It does.
And because the campus is so big, you've got the, it isn't like you're elbow to elbow.
Absolutely.
That's what's nice.
Yeah, the facility. That's the one thing that our cooks really are why we've brought them back, and they're coming back again, and our numbers are growing, is because the facility that they have. I mean, we have space. Movement is fine for the crowd. We have plenty of space for our cook teams. It's not jammed up. We are landlocked a little with our other event with locally with Pig Fest. With those kind of numbers, we could actually handle 45 or 50,000 people easy because this campus holds an event with that. Well, those types of numbers.
It's a phenomenal campus, and Sun and Fun does a great job. Great staff out there, John Linehouse and Light, as we affectionately call him. But that campus, folks, if you have not been out to the Aerospace Academy, you have a son or a daughter that's interested in aviation, whatever it may be, you really need to go out and check it out, because it's a career path that's unbelievably filled. It's filled with unbelievable opportunities. It's a great track. So kill a couple, 3 birds with one stone. We're just loading these folks up right before Thanksgiving. We're going to have to open up a diet center or something like that.
That's why we have all these runs in Polk County.
Oh, that's why we do it.
Okay,
I got you.
Kind of got to put a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the website, real quick.
You can find out all the information you want at www.sun-in-fun.org. Also, we have our Facebook page, and obviously they're populated with all the information about when pigs fly south and what's coming on and when, and your times that you mentioned. Obviously 5 to 10 on Friday evening, and then of course 10 to 5 on Saturday. So we're still accepting our entries in the bike, the motorcycle category for that show, and also for the car show. So if folks have some are into that, and they want to drive up, and we can take it the day of, as a matter of fact. So
that's
which will kind of be neat. So absolutely.
Donovan, thanks so much for joining us. Say hi to your folks for us. We're looking forward to the event and lots of others that are taking place out there, and you can check it out all at Sun and Fun. Fly in. I think it's sunandfun.org, isn't it? Something like that.
Sun-in-fun.org.
All you have to do is Google it, everybody. It'll come up. Believe me. Hey, we've got a lot of talent in this county. It's unbelievable. Men, women, boys, girls. It's just, I think that the track and the track record for Polk County putting people into star spotlight, the spotlight, collegiate, professional, is second to none. And we have an up-and-comer from Auburndale. And a great golfer. His name is Gary Rodriguez. We have a special clip here, a little up close and personal. He's not the best golfer on the team, but he is the most motivated. Check this out. We'll be back with the local update. More of Mark and Neil coming up right after this. Stay with us, everyone.
All right, so relax, have fun. Let's do a good job out there.
It's a tough sport, but you stick with it, and it's definitely beneficial and fulfilling.
So when he first came up, honestly, he could really barely hit it out of his shadow, and that's another thing that I love about him is he's come out here and gotten a little bit better each year. Good. Sit right there. Sit.
You know, you stick with it. You pick up tips from other golfers, from teammates, and little by little, you get better. And progress, you know, is gradual, but it does exist. This season as a whole was probably my best that I've put in almost 4 years. This year I did go to regionals as part of the Auburndale team, and that was a really great experience. The camaraderie was great. Got to interact with the team members more so than in the past. This may sound odd, but I really do enjoy the aspect of frustration that, you know, you can go out one day and be amazing in the next, and it's as if you've never played before, and that level of anticipation that you always have to be ready to, you know, kind of take it as it comes. I am the senior class president for Auburndale High School. I was elected last year, and you know, I'm president this year, and it's been good.
He actually plays the violin in the symphony, so and from what I understand, he's fairly accomplished at that. I think at our next banquet, we're going to have him either play or record some music for us while we're eating.
I think I'm somewhere, I think I'm third in my class at the moment. Yeah, I try, I take grades seriously. You know, education is very important. I've, you know, maintained a 4.0 GPA my entire high school career, so that's all right, I guess. I would consider Bill Cosby a role model, a great man. I definitely have to say my parents. They're very supportive, very encouraging. You know, they want me to do my best, and they provide me with all the resources necessary. I am Gary Rodriguez, and I'm a member of the Auburndale Senior High School golf team.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson along with Neil Duncan here, and this segment's sponsor, Harry's Old Place in Winter Haven on Old Cypress Gardens Road, just about a mile from Legoland. You want some great fresh fish? Whoa, fantastic. Harry in the Bag is awesome.
We actually hosted, during the World Shoot, an event down at Universal Shooting Academy, actually during the competition, and Harry's Old Place was there and provided the refreshments, the lunch or whatever for the event. It was fantastic. You know, one of the
food trucks.
Food trucks.
Yeah.
And they brought it down
Tallulah's.
there. Yeah.
Tallulah's.
Fantastic, and you can't say enough about. You know, we talk about a lot. Community partners and what they mean to not only tourism and sports, but obviously we plug them with what we do. But when a community comes together to pull something off, and recently that happened with the World Shoot, and just can't say enough about everyone that came together, 70 plus countries, 1,400 plus competitors, and it wasn't just the size of the event. You know, you look at like PGTV, great partner, they went out and shot the opening ceremonies. Well, we put the opening ceremonies up on the visitcentralflorida.org website, and we have nearly 4,000 views of the opening ceremonies just from that.
Amazing.
And you talk about the brand, that's sending them to the visitcentralflorida.org. So they may have come here for the event.
How many of those were international? I mean, it had to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, huge international numbers. I don't have the numbers right at the top of.
But it's something that keeps on promoting itself.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, it's very viral.
And that's why it was important, you know, literally had the entire world watching us and how we'd pull off this event, because it wasn't just Polk County, it wasn't just the state of Florida, it was the United States being represented.
Like we say a lot, there was a lot of eyes on Polk County,
Yeah.
not just local or state. We're talking national and international, and you know, is there a risk? Sure, but the rewards, wow. You know, I mean, you had to have what, 10,000 room nights, 15,000 room nights?
Yeah, it was considerable, and
I know you're still calculating.
We are,
and
the room nights, and knowing that 70+% of those people were staying in Polk County, but if you
for 2 weeks,
for some of them well over 2 weeks, because again, they were coming to Central Florida, and that's the great thing about our location. What's the #1 rule in business? Location, location, location. We are really in the heart of it all, between Orlando and Tampa and everything that there is to see and do here in Polk County. And the great thing about that is We've got the historical side of things, arts and culture, but we've got a lot of new exciting things coming to Polk County. It's a good time to be in Polk County.
You know, I'm kind of a heritage type guy, and have always enjoyed that ever since I was a little kid. But you know, you look at the heritage offerings, and I think that a lot of the international visitors were surprised that this is really the old Florida here. Yeah. You know, in some areas, of course, and going into Frostproof and enjoying that, and Fort Meade and Bartow and the rest of it was just like, this is like we see on TV.
Well, there's certain perceptions because
it's the experience.
When you're in, a lot of times, international visitor, they think of two things. If you're in Florida, even though we're in the middle of the state, they think either the beach, palm trees, or Disney.
Yeah.
I mean that's the way they think. And when they come in and actually experience the real Florida, they're blown away and they want to come back. And that's why it was very important to have a positive experience for these visitors, because that leads to return visits, because they had a great time here. They want to come back, and by all accounts, it was very
let me ask you a real
successful.
quick question, because the event took place a couple of weeks ago, and over the span of 2 weeks. But Neil, you know, there's more events scheduled. That this event has resulted in world competitions, national, statewide competitions before the event took place as a training opportunity, you know, getting themselves used to the venue. But then after, don't you have, what, like 10 more events or something?
Well, if you look at the whole body of work, you know, you look at the World Shoot, and it was only 5.3 million. I say that in jest because that doesn't seem like a huge number. It's a great impact for Polk County, but that doesn't take into account the visibility and all the return trips. But if you look at the events themselves, from October 2011, when we were awarded the World Shoot, until through 16, so 2012 to 2016, 22 additional events have taken place or will take place at Universal Shooting Academy.
Because of this one event.
Because we got this, you know, you get the Super Bowl, and now we got all the playoffs, and that's upwards of $22 million looking at those events. So when you start crunching the numbers, you start adding it together, the benefit that Polk County got out of this, we're going to feel it, we felt it over the last couple of weeks, we're going to feel it for years to come.
Yeah. Great investment, and it's paying some long-term dividends, including a world-class, or arguably the best shooting venue now in the world.
In a non-traditional sport. It's not the
Stick and
soccer or baseball or basketball. Those events that we've had a long history of being successful in hosting here in Polk County, it's a new opportunity for us to bring in great economic impact, not only to Polk County, but more specifically to Southeast Polk County.
Well, it's now part of our heritage, and speaking of heritage, Veterans Day coming up, November 11th, and we have an awful lot to be thankful for in this country. You know, the partisan politics and all of that nonsense aside, it's part of life, but we have millions of veterans to thank for our freedoms and for the lifestyle that we do enjoy. And the Lake Region High School is holding a Veterans Day Classic and All-Star game coming up, and that will be November 7th through November 9th. And you can check that out by going to WBullock, BULLOCK 7 at tampabay.rr.com, or you can go to Central Florida Sports.com for more information on that, and a number of events that are coming up here in Polk County, including the Gator Redleg Regimental Softball Tournament. Man, that is a tough one. I have to look at that to remember that.
There's a lot of great events coming up, and of course we want to remind our viewers that CentralFloridaSports.com or visit CentralFlorida.org is where you can get a full listing. We know that as we rip through these, and we're actually running out of time on this show because we had some great guests, but as you go through them, it's hard to remember all those dates and times, but visit CentralFlorida.org, CentralFloridaSports.com, we can get a full listing.
Get a full listing, and if you have folks coming down from the north, we are getting into it. In fact, today it is snowing in my home area on my farm in Wisconsin. So thank your lucky stars that you're living here in beautiful Polk County, where the temperature is supposed to rise to an amazing 77 degrees.
Speaking of thanking lucky stars, we'd like to thank some of our sponsors that made this show possible. Florida Department of Citrus, Subway, Days Inn and Suites in Lakeland, Hampton Inn, Lakeside Village, and of course Visit Florida, one of those great partners. Of course, we were talking about Sun and Fun. they stepped up again, and great partner of tourism and sports.
I'm telling you, the Visit Florida and the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association doing so much for the state of Florida. One of the reasons our economy is on such strong footing right now. So hats off to them and the entire crew. Well, everybody, unfortunately, this show is over, but not for long. You can check it out every single day right up until the next live show, which is November 14th. But the following dates and times will have re-airs of Old Neil and Young Mark on Sports Central. Thanks so much for joining us today, everybody. We'll see you again next time.